follow your gut instincts. When those hairs on the back of your neck, some of us have more hair on the back of our necks than others, but when those stand up, when it doesn't feel right, listen to that. If you're going to go down the street or into that alley or there's somebody waiting by your car, listen to that feeling. Police officers, especially us here at UW-PD, have a lot of practice with misunderstandings, with working with folks that are, I guess, make somebody nervous, but there is no actual reason for it. It's just the situation. We're gentle, we're thoughtful, we treat them with respect, and it's much better to have a police contact than actually get hurt. Now, on the flip side of that, actually we'll get back to that later. All right, now that we're in the house. We're in the house, and a lot of people lock their apartments, lock their doors, lock their houses when they're on the inside. That's fine. You got to think about, do you feel fine being locked in somebody's house with them? It's up to you. Each situation can be different. You can lay down the law and say, nope, I'm never okay being locked in the house with somebody, or I'm not okay in this situation, I'm okay in that situation. It shouldn't hurt anybody's feelings to say, hey, I respect that you want your doors locked, but as long as we're doing the visit, I'd like that front door left open. Where do we want to be in the house? Maybe you have to do a walkthrough of the whole house, but where do we want to do most of our interview? Bedrooms, not a great place. If I am going to keep a weapon in my house, I'm probably going to keep it in the bedroom. That's generally how a lot of people think. In the kitchen, I would be surprised to find a kitchen without big kitchen knives. So that's not a great place, especially if you're going to be giving somebody bad news. Living room. Living room's a good place. You know where that exit is. Usually exits out to a busy open street where other people may see you. Who else is in the building? Who else is in the apartment, in the house? Listen, ask. Hey, so excited to have our meeting here. Who else is here today? Nobody. Nobody's here. Really? What was that? It's nobody. I'm not comfortable with that. You need to tell me who that is. Any questions, thoughts? All right, situational awareness. We talked a little bit about it, of having the phone in your hand, having your head up, maybe not reading your notes as you walk up to and into a house. Maybe having that done ahead of time. I don't know if you guys can see that with the lights, but this in diver speak internationally means everything's okay, there's nothing wrong. And there's a big great white shark behind them. You've probably seen that on campus. Usually bad guys aren't quite that obvious, but there's something that could happen. When I'm loading groceries into the back of my car, I'm usually trying to answer the 50th why for my 3-year-old and asking my 5-year-old to please hold on for a second, I'm answering your sister. I'm not looking around me. But maybe I should. Maybe I should, as we're getting up to the car and I'm answering the 35th why, take a peek around me. Is there somebody that makes me nervous here? All right, we at UW Police do a lot of practicing, a lot of training about de-escalation. Have you guys done any training in de-escalation? No? A little bit? We try and talk in a calm tone, project the, we as humans try to match what the other person is doing oftentimes, especially if we feel empathetic or sympathetic towards them. So a low, calm tone. Telling somebody to calm themselves, I don't know if that's ever worked for you, it doesn't work for me, especially with my kids. But when I take folks to jail, which I do from time to time, I almost always get a thank you at the end of it. It has nothing to do with the fact that I caught them doing what they're doing, or I served a warrant for their arrest, or any of that. It has to do with the fact that I listened. It has to do with the fact that they felt that I understood them, and that I took the time to listen and hear their story. And that makes a huge amount of difference, especially when somebody is really upset and aggressive. Listening, repeating back to them what you hear, and not trying to put your own story on top of their story. Keep yourself between them and the door. Oops, sorry. Okay. I don't carry a lot of cash with me when I'm on this job. I actually don't carry much cash with me anytime. We have a number of homeless folks down by Library Mall, especially over the summer. Some of them have jobs. Some of them are suffering from quite a bit of mental health issues. Some of them are suffering from some addiction issues. There are a number of other issues down there as well. I know most of them by name. Almost all of them know me by name. We get along fairly well. It's okay to say no. It's okay also to go and buy 25 coffees in the morning and hand them out. You'll find that you start getting them handed back because they want 2 sugars instead of 1 sometimes. This feels a little ungrateful sometimes, but they're generally a pretty nice group. Feel free to do it the way you want, but it is okay to say no. Cell phones. While somebody could absolutely be in need of your cell phone, especially at bar time in front of Wando's, it is also one of those things that we hear when folks call up and say, somebody punched me in the nose and took my cell phone and my wallet. They asked me if they could borrow my cell phone. It's repeated over and over and over again. Usually downtown bar time, there are usually a bunch of city police standing around wishing they were, I don't know, firefighters. You say, you know what? You can absolutely use my phone, but let's just walk down there in front of the cops and it's all yours. Theft prevention, #1 crime on campus. Put your valuables out of sight, lock your car. Seems simple. If anything has a serial number on it, take a picture of it and have it on a cloud somewhere, because the serial numbers of anything that's stolen, if you have it, I can load it onto software that all the pawn stores also have to upload everything with a serial number to. And the 2 match, they have to hold on to it for 90 days until they can sell it again. And if we find a match, we can get it back to you. Doesn't happen all that often, but it's worth a shot. All right. Who was that? Who was that good-looking guy? Can anybody describe him for me? Anybody want to take a shot?
White male, blue jeans with a darker top on, or like a long sleeve sweatshirt or shirt.
Glasses or no glasses?
No glasses, sandy brown hair, deep brown eyes, and light colored eyebrows.
Nice. Beard or no beard?
No beard.
Heavy set, thin, medium?
Thin with like a medium-sized, well, yeah, medium-sized belly, kind of tall.
Thank you very much. That was really well done. That is now retired Lieutenant John Lind. Despite that photograph, one of the funniest people you ever meet. And that was fabulous. Has anybody called the police and described somebody? Had a chance to do that? Okay. When I try to do it without putting it into just how you did it, into boxes, I end up saying, male, hair, yes, shoes, 2 at least. Yeah, I'm not sure. Really good looking, deepest blue eyes you've ever seen, maybe brown. But when I put it into a structure that I already have set out for myself, it is much easier. So when I describe people, I describe them big, small, top down. What I mean by that is, what can I see from a block away? From a block away, I can see that John's a man. We can't always see that, but in this case, it's relatively obvious. And I can see that he's a white man. That's something I can see from a block away. Maybe the blue shirt, the blue top, blue jeans. Now I'm going to go top down, because ordering it a different way, you can order it any way you want, but this is the way that works for me. I'm going to start with hair, glasses, beard, and then clothing on the way down. You look at some of those things: scars, marks, tattoos, what was said, anything you smell. Those are great if you can come up with them right away. But what we find from interviewing people that have been involved in trauma, if someone's attacked, those things are really hard to recall right away. Those things, after a few sleep cycles, start to come back. I'm probably preaching to the choir, you guys probably know all this stuff. But don't feel bad if you have a pretty bland description right away. When it comes to getting a better description, it can take a couple of sleep cycles. We generally, after we talk to someone who's been a victim of trauma, we do a very basic interview, what we need at the time, and then hand them a pen and paper and say, hey, every day if you think of something else, oh, he smelled like tobacco, really bad. That'll come back, write it down. Unconscious bias. Well, I've just spent a few minutes telling you guys, hey, if you see something, say something. How does unconscious bias play into this? I can tell you every single one of you has it. Hopefully you guys have trained on this stuff as well. We all have it. How is it good? What does it help us do? Anybody? What?
Unconscious bias helps us stay safe.
Helps us stay safe. How does it do that?
I mean, like, if you're worried about someone or the way somebody looks, you have a tendency to like avoid those situations, and 9 times out of 10, your initial gut reaction to that person is more or less.
I like it, more or less. So unconscious bias, it allows us, whether it's people or objects or housing prices, it allows us to make snap decisions and judgments on something and not take in all of the input we have. How is it used against us? I'm going to ignore that until so it's used against us by marketing all day, every day. Every ad is playing on our unconscious bias. The way the grocery stores are set up is playing on unconscious bias. There's a reason that we walk past the fresh cut flowers and walk past the fresh produce before we walk past the canned goods. If we were doing a survey, we'd say after walking past all that fresh stuff, the canned goods look like they're really fresh and nice. Go the opposite way, we don't get the same experience. Unconscious bias can be very bad for other people depending on what power you wield. Social workers, you guys wield power. Police officers, we wield power. We make decisions on people's lives. So does anybody who's hiring. So do teachers. So do judges and attorneys and anybody in society. When we let our unconscious bias affect our decisions and how we treat people, whether we call the police on someone or not, it can have some pretty disastrous effects on those people's lives. How do we combat that? One, know we have unconscious bias. Work to uncover our own conscious bias. But that'll just kind of help us understand what our own failings are. The long-term solution is exposure. Exposure to people, places, and things that you aren't normally around. It is a huge topic to unpack in just a few moments right now. But any thoughts, questions? Anybody want to say anything on this topic? I just want to bring it up because I've been saying, call the police, call the police, call the police. Okay. All right. Quick stuff on active shooter. We do a much longer 90-minute presentation on this. Has anybody had an active shooter presentation? A few people? Cool. This stuff is the same as what we've been talking about. Keep your head up and think about things before they happen. How would we get out of this room if we heard gunshots coming from out there? I see a few people pointing to that door. We have another door. That's awesome. Okay, what if we don't have another door? Go to number 2. We can go to hide. So in hiding, that's the national word. Run, hide, fight. But what we really want is barricade. We want to barricade that door there. And we could do that by pushing some tables up against it, but I'm guessing they probably open outwards. If they open outwards, we can tie the door handles to some heavy tables. Every fashionable person has got a belt on today. Otherwise, we have these computer cords up here that do a good job of tying. Just pile stuff up. If we can't run, we can't hide, we're stuck. We're stuck with fight. Not what I would prefer. But if we're going to fight and that person is coming through that door with maybe a gun, where would we want to be? Next to the door. Somebody can hurt me with a gun from a long ways away. I want to be right up close to the door. Improvised weapons, chairs, whatever this thing is, purses, water, even a plastic thing of water that's not going to hurt anybody, disruption. Wing it at their eyes and then tackle them around the legs. Causes disruption, momentary, that. So in summary, keep your head on a swivel, know your resources, reach out to them. You guys have any questions, thoughts? When it comes to fight, we have a few minutes. Let's take a minute to give ourselves a permission to fight. What I mean by that is there's a lot inside all of us, thank goodness, that keeps us from wanting to hurt each other. This is how we are able to operate in these giant groups, is we want to be nice to each other. We don't want to hurt each other. But when it's your life on the line, you need to be able to overcome that and not wrestle with the person. You need to be able to fight for your life. This past year, a fall ago, there was an international student, weighs about 85 pounds, and she was walking home. She was walking home from the library, and she was attacked. And the man that attacked her grabbed her from behind, had a hatchet and a knife. He hurt her, he hit her over the head, he duct taped her, and when he was trying to put her into the trunk of his car, she fought back. She broke the duct tape, she fought back, and she got away. That is very rare, that kind of occurrence. I don't want anybody to walk out of here thinking that this is a usual occurrence and by any stretch of the imagination. But she gave herself the permission, whether it was sometime earlier or in that moment, to fight, and to fight like a demon because her life depended on it. So give yourself the permission to gouge eyes, to bite, to kick crotches. If that didn't work, kick that crotch again. Does anybody carry pepper spray? Nice. On campus, you can't by state law carry anything but pepper spray when it comes to weapons. You can't carry a gun, a taser, a billy club. So pepper spray is where it's at. There is some science, some numbers that say carrying a weapon is more likely to arm your assailant than it is to be used to defend yourself. You guys are adults and you can make your own decisions as to whether or not you want to carry pepper spray. If you do, let me make this suggestion. Buy 2. You can get them online, you can get them Cabela's, Walmart, anywhere. And who's got pepper spray? Is there some sort of trigger mechanism? Do you have to swivel something over so it doesn't go off in your backpack or your jeans or anything? Okay. And you need small motor skills to make that happen, right? Under stress, our small motor skills are garbage. They fall completely apart. All our blood goes to our fight and flight big muscles so that I can run the hell away or I can punch that saber-toothed tiger in the face. It's a fever dream I had. But manipulating small things, needlepoint or moving that little trigger over, is really hard to do under stress. So what I suggest is you practice. Go to a park that's very empty or a nature area on a day that you know where the wind is coming from, and aim that sucker downwind and practice on, off, on, off, on, off. Get some muscle memory. Think about where you're going to carry it. Is it going to be in the back pocket of your skinny jeans that you can't get out no matter how you try? The bottom of your backpack because you haven't had it out in 3 months? Or somewhere where you can get a hold of it pretty quickly and you can thumb that safety off or finger it off, however it is. Next recommendation is find a tree at least 10 feet away and give it a squirt. That way we find out, is it a foam? Is it a mist? Is it a 3-foot drizzle or a 10-foot stream? So we know what we're talking about, we know what we're dealing with, we know how to use it. Lastly, assuming you have some baby wipes with you or something like that, because you don't want to bring this stuff back to your car, get a little exposure. Don't have to rub it in your eyes. That's for us to do in our training because it's awesome. But get close. And why we expose ourselves to it and then run a gauntlet with it, our faces soaking in it, is to teach us that while it hurts like no hurt you've ever had before, it is an injury, it isn't death. It's just pain. So don't stop fighting. So we teach ourselves that when my partner misses the person that we're wrestling with and gets me full on in the face, or even does a good job of getting the person we're fighting with and gets on me, on my partner, on the deputies at jail, on the nurses at jail, on the social workers at jail, it gets on everybody. So to know that while it's terrible pain, it's not the end and you need to keep fighting is real important if you're going to carry pepper spray. Any questions at all? Thoughts, snide remarks? Compliments on my hair?
So something that I somehow subconsciously learned to do when I'm in one of those situations where it feels a little uncomfortable, but you know, maybe that street is the only one I can take to get home, is to be on the phone with somebody or be on even a fake call with somebody. Does that actually do anything, or does it just make me feel a little bit better?
The question for anybody who didn't hear it is, got an uncomfortable walk past a group of guys that are making you uncomfortable, or just that street is not nice and there's my car on the other side or the bus on the other side. Being on the phone, does that make you any safer? I think it would make you safer because that person on the other end would hear if something went wrong. I didn't mention it before, but a lot of times when folks are going to meetings that they know they're uncomfortable for, and you could do it for every meeting until you get the feeling of it, is to, one, let everybody see your calendar, and two, tell people that I will call you when I'm out of this meeting. Tell your boss, tell your coworker, and I should be out in 35 minutes. And you need to call me and get a hold of me in 40 minutes if you don't get a call from me. We have an app on our website called Rave Guardian. You can jump on the UW-PD website and download it. And has anybody heard of this, Rave Guardian? Okay, yes, 2 people. What it does is you can make somebody else your guardian, whether it's your mom, your roommate, your best friend, your coworker, your boss. You set a timer on it. Whether you're walking home from the library and you think it's going to take 10 minutes, or this meeting should be done in 45 minutes, you should be back to your car. And it gives you an alert and says, hey, knucklehead, did you stop off at the grocery store to pick up something to drink, or you need to turn this off? And if you don't turn it off, then it sends a message to the person that you designated as your guardian. It says, hey, Barrett didn't get back to his car in time, and here's where his phone pinged. So that person can then, if they can't get a hold of you, call the police and say their phone was last pinging at the corner of University and Park. It's maybe something worthwhile, but definitely talk to your neighborhood officers, talk to them ahead of time. And feel free liberally to use the police just to be aware that you're in their neighborhood, that you're making these meetings. Yes?
Is there a mechanism on iPhones that allows you to click at a certain number of times on that call the police anonymously?
I think it's the lock
In
screen
your
5
pocket, like, is
times.
there a way to click up?
Do you want to say that louder for everyone?
I'm pretty sure it's your lock screen button 5 times, but you also have to allow it in your settings.
Okay, because I tried whatever it was
Yeah.
before, that I've seen it online and it didn't work.
Yeah, that's
So
like one of those dial things that you like turn on.
Okay, so you turn it on. Okay, thanks.
Should we all try it together? Really upset dispatch? No. That would be a good thing. I like that. It's something in the settings, though, that you have to switch.
Yeah. I don't think it's. I don't know if it's automatic.
Does it give you the option to hang up?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, that's fun. Make sure I can't do that, or my kids can't do that. So, a good option, especially if you don't have little kids that are stealing your phones all the time.